Good evening to everybody. Just a quick idea of myself. My name is Pierre van Rensburg, coming to you from a coolish centurion. Just a little bit of background. I am fully employed by a large IT company. And my passion for health started a long time ago while I was still in school. I was quite a sickly child. I had to go for regular glucose injections just to give me some energy to go through the day. I was extremely anemic and it was so bad. I also had scoliosis, and it was so bad that the doctors told me that I should preferably not do any sport because I can end up in a wheelchair. But typically me, very hard-headed. In university, I decided I'm not going to listen to them. I started doing sports, and I realized that exercise was extremely important. And in doing that, I got introduced to running, and one of my friends introduced me to the most amazing supplements, nutritional supplements, and we're going to touch on a couple of them tonight. And it completely changed my life to such an extent that I actually completed 2 comrades marathons. And I can tell you now, I firmly believe that the nutritional products assisted me in doing that. I've been using the products that I'm going to discuss with you now for a long time, more than 20 years. And the benefits have been amazing. I have not been booked off one day from work due to illness in more than 22 years. I do get my flu, I do get ill, but never to such an extent that I need to be booked off. I've got 2 beautiful twin girls. They are 16 years of age, and they, in the first 15 years of their lives, they haven't seen antibiotics. They didn't know what antibiotics were. So if that is a testimony for the value of these products, then I am sure you will be excited with me. So enough of me. Let's start off and let's kick this off. What I'm going to do is I'm going to share some information with you. We have a lot to cover tonight. Hopefully we will get through it, but if we don't, then I will make sure that we will have a follow-up call to cover anything we have missed, or if there are specific questions we can't cover tonight. So you're welcome to post the questions on the chat group. I will have a look at it from time to time, see if I can address some of those. But let's fire away and let's talk about a subject that is very, very close to my heart. I'm very passionate about it, and it's all about lifestyle change. It's all about our health. That is our greatest wealth. So without any further ado, I'm quickly going to share my screen with you guys. Also, can I just ask that anybody who is online at any point in time, if my connectivity is of such a nature that you battle to hear me or you can't see the screen, the presentation, please let me know through chat, through WhatsApp, or just chip in and let me know so that I can make sure that everybody get value. So let's quickly share my screen with you. Okay. So you should see a screen in front of you that says health and wealth. Can I just get a confirmation from anybody that that is the case, please?
Yep, we can see it. Thanks.
Thanks, Bernie. Okay, so some of you should have seen this slide with this quote. It's very dear to me because I think that is the challenge that most of us are sitting with. And that is, we are so excited to start living and earning an income, working for a company. We get swallowed up in that, and we spend our health in order to gain wealth. And then later in life, we realize that our health is a major problem, and we want to spend that wealth we gained in order to try and regain our health. So let's make sure that we don't end up in a situation like that. So for anybody who would like to ask me individual questions, there's my contact details, my cell phone number, and my email address. You're welcome to post me an email or a WhatsApp if there are individual or personal questions you would like to ask. At this point in time, the first thing I want to say is that I'm not a health professional. I don't have any degrees or certifications. What I'm going to share with you are purely information that I've gathered over the years, own experience, listening to very clever people, reading a lot. So please see it in that light. I'm also not going to prescribe anything to anybody. This will be recommendations. So if we can just take note of that, please. So who are we? We are a lot of entrepreneurs. We're on a mission to make the world a healthier and a happier place. And that is really my passion. And this is the reason for this session tonight. I'm going to talk a lot about a certain product range from a company called New Life. So for the people who don't know New Life, I just quickly want to recap who they are and why we use their products. New Life is more than 60 years old and operates in more than 50 countries in the world. We've got 4 product ranges. We're only going to touch on one tonight. And the reason for our excitement is the New Life Scientific Advisory Board, who's comprising of all the best scientists, key opinion leaders in their fields in the world. Really amazing people. If you go and Google them, you will be flabbergasted by their credentials. And that little wormy you see with a red tie in the middle, that was Dr. Arthur First, the doctor who invented oral chemotherapy for cancer. And he started the SAB, and I think that will give you a very good idea about the credentials of this group of people. The SAB, a lot of our products are patented. A lot has been used in scientific studies. It's been published in world-class research publications. You can have a view on some of those publications there. And then the reason for that is that it's all about the philosophy of New Life, the philosophy about based in nature and backed by science. And that makes a major difference in the quality of the products that I'm going to share with you. So just a little bit of background of New Life, who they are, so that you can have some context of where we're going. So this is our health status. If we can represent that on a graph with our age at the bottom and our vitality on the left-hand side from 0 to 100%, that is basically a representation of our health. Now, this slide I should have updated because I read a document the other day where they say that our bodies are actually designed to last up to 120 years. So that 80 years should change, but let's stay at 80 years from now. So what happens is when we are young and born, we're in the vibrant stage. You just need to look at the young ones, the little ones, the amount of energy they have 24/7, and you will agree with me. And then as we get older, we go into the tired zone. And then very quickly, we go into the sick zone. Now, we should actually, by design, skip the tired zone, skip the sick zone, and go from vibrant to our lights being switched off. But the reality is that this happens. We are born with 100% vitality, and then here in our early 20s, we start to move into the tired zone, and in our 30s, 40s, sometimes quicker, we move into the sick zone, and from there on, it's literally downhill till the day we are not there anymore, which is sad because that is not the way our bodies were designed. So if we talk about health, where do we start? We need to start at what we call the chain of life. And the chain of life consists of 6 essential nutrients, that being carbohydrates, lipids and sterols, proteins, minerals, vitamins, and enzymes. And we need to get a combination of all of those elements in our diet every day. And I don't know if you know, but we need more than 60 different nutrients every day from our food sources. And you can have a view there. The reality is that they did a study in America, more than 22,000 people, and they found that less than 1% of those 22,000 people even got 10 of the most important nutrients in their daily diet. And then we are wondering why we're sitting with all the diseases and all the health challenges we have today. So keep that in mind. That is very important. But where do we start? We need to start at the cell. Cellular nutrition is the foundation of your health. Now, we have more than 73 trillion little engines. I call it little engines, cells. I don't know who had the time to go and count all of them, but we'll believe the clever people. So we have more than 73 trillion little engines that make up our body. From the tip of our head to the tip of our toes, everything are cells. Those cells basically require three main things. They need lipids and sterols to feed it, they need antioxidants to protect it, and they need amino acids to repair it. And then there's a lot of other vitamins and minerals that is used within the cell to create energy, to create enzymes, to create hormones, to create other cells, etc., etc. But for the purpose of this, let's keep it fairly straightforward and simple. We need lipids and sterols. In nice English, that is fats. In Afrikaans, vette. Good vette, good fats. That's what our cells need, and I'll explain why. We need antioxidants. Antioxidants are there to protect from the harmful gases we inhale, the sun, what we eat, what we drink. And then amino acids or proteins are used for a lot of functions and to build more. Okay, so that is important. So we need to look at the health of our cells as a starting point. Now, this is a nice little picture. This picture shows the outside of a cell, the cell membrane. And you will see that it's called a lipid bilayer element. It means it's made up out of two fats, two lipids. Lipids are fats. It's made up out of phospholipids. It's a bilayer. Now, why is that important to understand? Let's look at the healthy and unhealthy cells. It is important that that cell membrane is soft and permeable in order to allow nutrients in, and whatever is processed, whether it's waste or a hormone or an enzyme, to move effectively out of the cell. If that cell membrane is not soft and permeable, the nutrients will battle to get in, and whatever is produced in the cell will battle to get out. If that happens, your cell becomes sick and tired. And because you are made up out of 73 trillion cells, if all 73 of that engines are not functioning properly, you will become sick and you will become tired as a person, as the whole body. Now, that cell membrane is made up out of 2 lipids, as we mentioned, and 5 sterols. And those elements are mostly coming out of whole grain, brown rice, and soy. And that is why, according to the World Health Organization, most of our diet, a large part of our diet, should consist of whole grain concentrates. The problem is, in today's processing life, most of those grain concentrates are stripped out through processing, milling, etc., etc. And that's why we get white flour, we get white rice, polished rice. Most of those elements have been removed, which means we do not get in those valuable elements, which means that our cells become sick and tired and they can't function properly. And I think most of you will agree with me that you sleep 7, 8, 9 hours. The evening, you wake up the next morning and you still feel tired. What I want to say is you're only as healthy as your cells. So whatever we need to do, if we look at nutrition, if we need supplements, we need to make sure that our cells function properly and optimally. How do we do that? The New Life's got an amazing product called 3 in N. 3 in N stands for 3 in 1. And that 3-in-1 are the 2 lipids and the 5 sterols that your cells require. So a study was conducted in Texas University where they found that if you use 3-in-N, you will improve your overall growth and development, your nutrient utility efficiency, and cardiovascular development will be improved. And those are representations, graphics of those studies that have been done and published with 3-in-N. And I want to bring your attention to the middle graph specifically, where it has been shown that if you use 3-in-N on a daily basis, your nutrient utilization efficiency will increase with 50% and more. What does it mean? It means if you look at that cell as a little engine, your engine will have 50% more energy, will work 50% better. So keep that in mind. 3-in-N need to be extremely important if you start to look at supplementation and if you start to look at cellular nutrition. Okay, so on that note, a lot of people usually, well, I know I was part of that group where I heard about supplementation and the importance of that, and I charged off to the pharmacy and this came, and I looked at that aisles and aisles and shelves of supplements, and I had no cooking clue how to look at the best supplements. So what I did is I turned the supplements around. I looked at the price and the number of capsules, and the one that was the cheapest, that is the one I bought. And guess what? I got no value. I had no increase in energy. I still got sick. I felt nothing. Now, there are reasons for that. So if you want to look for a good supplement, always take the following into mind. Look at whether that supplement is synthetic or natural. Synthetic is not good for you. Your body will not absorb a lot of synthetic because it doesn't recognize it, and it will try to get rid of it as quickly as possible. Furthermore, there have been studies done that indicated that in some cases synthetic vitamins are actually more harmful than not drinking vitamins at all. So be very, very careful with regards to synthetic vitamins. I'm not going to go into depth how to recognize it, but it is possible. And a good rule of thumb is if the product is cheap, the chances are 99.5% that it's going to be synthetic, because it takes money to source natural products and get the nutrients out of natural organic products. Talking about that, look at natural versus organic. Okay, so not all organic are necessarily good. Turpentine is organic. It's not good. Petroleum is organic. It's not good for you. So is pine bark organic. But I've never seen my forefathers eat pine bark or pond scum for that matter. So be very careful if you see the word organic on a product. In some cases, a supplement only need to have about 10% real organic ingredients to be set or to be classified as organic product. So be very, very careful. Don't be misled by the word organic. Make sure that the product you buy use human food as sources. I've already mentioned the pine bark and the pond scum. And then be careful. Most of nutrients come in a family of products. For instance, vitamin B comes in a family of 11 vitamin Bs. It's important to take all 11 vitamin Bs in the correct ratio. Otherwise, if you're going to take an isolate, something like vitamin B6, and a lot of that, it might actually deplete some of the other vitamin Bs. The same applies for vitamin E, which is a complex of 8 different vitamin E's. Make sure if you buy vitamin E that all 8 complex molecules are in it. Make sure that whatever you get is certified non-GMO. A good rule of thumb, your product must be juice extracted, dehydrated, organically grown, vine ripened, non-hybrid, and certified non-GMO. try to memorize that and say it very fast. I can't. Okay, so make sure that when you get a product, it ticks those boxes. Some of the information I'm going to share with you now comes out of an amazing book. And if you really want to invest in your health, I would suggest you get hold of this book. It's called Prescription for Nutritional Healing by Doctors Balch and Balch. And what these doctors did is they looked at illnesses and health challenges right across the world, and they listed it in this book, and they indicated which vitamins are essential, which is important, what can help, what lifestyle changes you need to apply. And this is a wonderful, wonderful book to get hold of and to work from. So most of the information I'm going to share with you now actually comes out of this book. Okay, so let's start. And the first topic I want to start with is immunity, especially in today's day with coronavirus. We hear a lot, we see a lot, we read a lot that we need to increase our immunity. And everybody mentioned the importance of vitamin C, vitamin A and D, and zinc in these times to enhance your immunity, which is 100% correct. But, and there's a big but, we need to be careful charging off to the pharmacies and the discounts. Buy any vitamin C, zinc, and vitamin A and D we can lay our hands on. Drink a lot of that and get the false sense of security that your immunity is now fine. Unfortunately, it's not. There's a reality. But let's look at products that we suggest that will help with immunity within the New Life Stable, and I'll quickly touch on a couple of them, why they are important. So for adults, a product called carotenoid complex. Now, we can spend an whole evening just on this product. In short, carotenoid complex is a family of 600 different beta carotenes. Beta carotene is actually, let me withdraw that. Beta carotene is one of 600 different carotenoids. Carotenoid complex is one of the patented products by New Life. It's got all 14 different families of carotenoid sources, and that product has been proven scientifically to boost your immune system by 37% in just 20 days. Just to give you an idea, a container of 90 capsules, they use 115 kilograms of raw fruits and vegetables to produce that one container. So if you can, that will be my number one product I will put on my list for immunity. The second product is vitamin C, as everybody said, but it's important. Number one, make sure it's not synthetic. Some synthetic vitamin C's, if you look at the leaflet they include, they will actually tell you that it might damage your kidneys, or it might Okay, so make sure that the vitamin C you get is a sustained release form, because most vitamins your body will use what is required and then get rid of the rest within a couple of hours. The New Life vitamin C has got a sustained release. It will stay in your body for 6 to 8 hours, and it is not synthetic, so it can't harm the enamel on your teeth or your kidneys. Then zinc. Zinc is very, very important to prevent the multiplication of the virus. But all minerals need to be chelated. Chelated means it needs to be encapsulated in amino acids. The reason for that is it increases the absorbability. If you take an ordinary zinc, your body will absorb between 10 and 20% of that product. When it's chelated, it will increase to more than 80%. So make sure that all your minerals you take, calcium, magnesium, zinc, iron, and so forth, are chelated products. Then vitamin A and D, very, very important for your immunity. We don't need to go into too much depth how every product works. We don't have time for that, so I'm just going to run quickly through this. And then lastly, protein shakes, specifically the New Life shakes. What makes them very unique is that they've got all 22 amino acids your body require on a daily basis. Those amino acids are extremely important in the manufacturing of the killer of the, let's call it the immune response cells that your body require. And if you're going to lack the amino acids, you're going to seriously jeopardize your immunity. The New Life shakes are also non-certified. The sources are non-certified soy and whey, and the protein absorb score is extremely high, the highest that I could have found up to date. So for adults, that would be my 5 recommended products, and I'm not going to mention it every time, but as we said at the start, 3NN needs to be your start. If you're not going to take 3NN, you're not going to get the value out of the products you take as you should. So make sure that you take 3NN and then the rest of this. For children, very, very important. Doesn't help we look after ourselves and not our children. I would suggest a product called VitaGuard. VitaGuard is a chewable product for children. It's got no preservatives, sugar, or flavors or colorants or anything in it. And it's a combination of carotenoids. It's a combination of vitamin C, vitamin E, vitamin A and D, selenium, and all those other elements that is important in building immunity. So VitaGuard, an amazing, amazing product. And then there's also a chewable vitamin C formula for children. Very, very nice. It's got the equivalent of about 4 oranges in 1 tablet. So that is quite amazing. And then also for the children, the protein shake, for the same reason as for the adults. And then lastly, for the babies who can't even chew, there's a product called Liquivite that's got a combination of all the wonderful stuff to boost their immunity. So those are the products that I will suggest to look at, especially in this time during the coronavirus. But let's just spend a couple of minutes more, because there is more to this, more to just nutrients and supplements during this time of COVID. And let's look a little bit at other impacts that coronavirus has caused, and I am sure that none of these will be surprises for you, but let's reflect a little bit on the consequences. Number one, with everybody being locked down, we don't get enough sunlight, which means we don't manufacture a lot of vitamin D, and it has been proven in studies that as soon as you start to lack vitamin D, that you are going into serious mood problems. We don't get enough exercise. I am 100% sure that most of you online will agree if you could nod your head. We don't get enough exercise. Yes, during lockdown, we couldn't exercise a lot at the start, and now it's getting cold. So that combination is really a serious problem. What about overeating and incorrect eating? I spoke to a couple of the people that's on the call now, and I think that is a big challenge for everybody. A lot of kilometers are put up between the desk and the fridge, and a lot of munchies, different and wrong munchies, junk food, and that is creating serious problems. We can just think about obesity, overweight, the strain it puts on joints, the impact on the cardiovascular system, potential for diabetes, and we can go on and on. That is not news to anybody. But I don't always think that we are thinking about this consciously. A lot of this results in low mood, depression, cabin fever, especially if you are alone, being locked up. Not a nice time to be locked up when you're alone, and everything that goes around with that. And it becomes a vicious cycle. When you're not feeling up to it, you don't want to exercise, and you go to food as comfort food, and the whole process just snowballs and it goes round and round. And then stress. The impact that the coronavirus have on a stress level, whether it's consciously or subconsciously, and the impact that stress have on our bodies, the impact that stress have on our cellular function. And again, it becomes part of the bigger cycle and the bigger spiral we're all falling into. And then something I would like to add is the dangers of being sanitized at this moment in time. More and more studies coming out, articles coming out about the dangers of sanitizers, the impact it has on our skin, the fact that a lot of that alcohol is absorbed through our skin into our body, the impact that is creating. I read an article the other day, I couldn't confirm it, but they also said that this is causing major hormonal problems, and that there might be an indication that pregnant ladies need to be very, very careful of the overutilization.
More than the peak global coronavirus death rate of 10,000 per day in April.
Okay, apologies for that. So be very, very, take cognizance of the dangers of sanitizers, over sanitizing. If you want, rather use disinfectants and rather use something like the New Life Care, which is a non-toxic biodegradable disinfectant that will help you tremendously. So that is a lot of notes on the coronavirus and immunity. And what I'm going to do, I am going to quickly look at the chat to see if there's anybody who's got maybe a question regarding the coronavirus situation that we can quickly answer if I do have the information. You can look at the chat. In the meantime, I see that Mona's got a very good question here. A question is, how do you change your young adult children's eating habits that consist of fast foods at least once a day? Mona, that is quite difficult. To be very honest, what I do in this period in buying food, and maybe this will help, I take note of what I buy and what I have in my house at that moment in time, which means I skip the aisles with the cool drink, I skip the aisles with the chocolates, the cookies, the chips, the sweets, and I buy fruit. So if my children want to have munchies, there's only one thing they can munchie on, and that is fruit. And it will take time and it will take effort and you will get tantrums. But at the end of the day, we need to consider the long-term benefits of eating correctly. And also what is important is the examples that we as adults show to our children. A lot of our diseases, people say, are genetically and hereditary. I don't really believe that. What I do believe is, which is hereditary, is our eating habits. So the chances are very, very good if your parents had not very healthy eating habits, that you won't have very healthy eating habits, and that your children will also battle with that. So not an easy answer. Oh, she says they buy it themselves and have it delivered. Cut up their credit cards. Sorry, Mona. It's all about education. And let me tell you, it's not only the young adults. A lot of our adults feel that convenience is so easy, and it's easy to order and have delivered than trying to make it yourself. I really don't know how old the children are or what impact you have on them, but that's a difficult one. It's all about education. Maybe share with them stories, horror stories of people who didn't look at their diets. Tell them about people with diabetes that lost their toes, become blind. You know, that maybe the one option is to shock them. Very, very difficult. I agree. Okay. Sorry, I don't have the answer to that completely, but maybe if somebody on the group can maybe on the chat box give their views, please do. Okay. Paula asked, what's the difference between disinfectants and sanitizers? in short, Paula, I can send you additional information. Sanitizers are mostly alcohol, 70% or more alcohol. And they don't always kill the germs. They remove a lot of germs. But the side effects of that is in question at this moment in time. A disinfectant is regulated where sanitizers are not regulated. So anybody can put anything in a sanitizer and market it as a sanitizer. There are a couple of articles regarding dodgy sanitizers that you can also look up. Disinfectants are regulated, they are controlled, they need to conform to certain standards. And for instance, the New Life Care, it's got a SABS seal of approval, and it's got a certain code that indicates that it's been regulated. But I take note of this. I will send some information to you on our private WhatsApp. Okay, appoint HR. I don't know what your name is. Ask what's the different flavors and sizes on the protein shakes. Hi, Marianne. Good to see you. The different flavors are vanilla, chocolate, and strawberry. And the sizes I don't have out of my head. I will get that information for you and post it to you as well. Okay, I know that we've got 2 shakes. The one shake will last you just under a month, I think 28 or 29 servings. The other shake is a weight loss shake, so you drink more of that. That will last you 14 to 16 days. I hope that answers that question to you. Okay, good. So let's move off immunity and let's move on to a couple of other areas that we can cover now. ADD and ADHD. I don't know if there's anybody on the call that has problem with this. If so, I will spend more time. Otherwise, I will really run through it because I also don't want to waste people's time. Okay, very good question that just came through before I go to ADD. Question was, can you mix Care with any other cleaning product? Absolutely no. If you mix Care with any other cleaning product, you take away the disinfecting power and it's of absolutely no use. So please don't mix Care with any other cleaning product available. Okay, okay, let's quickly do ADD. Maybe you know of friends or family who's got challenges in this area. An article I read says that about 10 to 15% of American children are currently being diagnosed with ADD/ADHD, which I think is scary. What we don't realize is that a major part of cases like that might be helped by proper nutrition. I don't say all of them. There might be cases where serious involvement is required, but studies have proven that if you adapt their nutrition, that you will get tremendous benefit. You remember the cells we spoke about, where the cells become tired, the cell membrane becomes hard, where we as adults become very tired. Children, if they lack that grain concentrates, start to become hyperactive, lose concentration, are all over the place. So what do we do? Supplements that will help for children is a chewable multivitamin, multimineral called Vita Square. In the Vita Square are that 3-in-N grain concentrates that we spoke about. Also in the Vita Square is calcium, magnesium, which is extremely important for brain function, as well as vitamin B complex, which is extremely important for brain function. So the Vita Squares are of utmost importance. Then the next one, omega-3 salmon oil. Let me retract just one step. Whatever I shared with you now with regards to ADD and ADHD is also extremely important for children who just battle in school, learning challenges, concentration. They don't need to be ADHD to have that challenges. You can help. This nutrients will also help with those children. Then there's a wonderful herbal complex product we call Mind Enhancement Complex. It's got a variety of herbal products in it, And two of the most important are ginkgo biloba and gotu kola. And you can go and read up about the value of those two products, not only for children with ADD and ADHD, but also adults with Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, or just general mind issues. Okay, then very important is a product like acidophilus. Acidophilus is a probiotic. It's got all the good biotics, bacteria, and you will see more and more articles coming out about the value of a good gut health, where a lot of doctors are now actually calling the gut the second brain. That says if your gut is not properly working, not working efficiently, it's got major impact on the rest of the body and actually on moods and the functioning of the brain, which is very, very interesting for me. So those are the products that I will suggest with children with ADHD, but hey, as I said, even adults with Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, and those challenges. Good. Things to keep in mind, children with these challenges: eliminate all sugar from cool drink and sweets. Very important. On that, eliminate sweeteners. What people don't realize is that sweeteners are causing more harm than good. Sweeteners actually has the same impact on pancreas than sugar, just with less kilojoules. And also, if you read the side effects on some sweeteners, the blackouts, memory loss, palpitations, heart palpitations, sweating, nervousness, be very careful of sweetness. Be very careful of any refined carbohydrates, that is flour, bread, cookies, pasta, white rice, and those elements. Watch out for fruit juice. If you look at some of the fruit juices we have today, their sugar content is pretty much the same as carbonated drinks. So watch out for fruit juice. It's easier, better, and more healthy to eat a whole fruit so that you can at least get the fiber in as well. Watch out your dairy foods. There are a lot of yogurts and flavored milk and whatever on the market. Those yogurts are packed either with sugar or with sweeteners. So you're not doing your child a favor giving him those products. If you want to give them yogurt, it needs to be something like double cream plain. Anything else where they added flavor or fruit, look at the sugar content of, turn the product around, look at the label and look at the back, the amount of sugar in that. Remember, a child should only get 4 to 6 teaspoons of sugar in total during the day. So watch and monitor that carefully. And then most parents with children with ADHD will tell you artificial colors, flavors, preservatives is bad news. And then very important, watch the child's screen time. Cell phone, iPad, TV. Limit it as far as possible. It's got a major impact. Okay, so that is some notes on ADD, ADHD. I don't know if there are any questions with regards to these elements that somebody would like to post. Okay, nobody? So can we move on? Okay. The difference between probiotics and prebiotics. Paula, that's a tough question. I will have to come back to you on that one. Apologies, I don't have knowledge on that. I don't know if there's anybody else on the group that's got knowledge, probiotics versus prebiotics. Otherwise, I will get the information to you. A very good question from Marihan about sweeteners. Does stevia count as well? Very good question. Thanks, Marihan. So sweeteners like stevia and xylitol is all good. Stuff like aspartame, canderel, and those sweeteners, watch out for them. Not good. But stevia and xylitol, very, very good. And also, if you do want to sweeten, let's say, the porridge of your kid or their tea, and they really crave for something sweet, use raw honey. Raw honey is not bad. Yes, it does have sugar in it, but at least it's got some other value in terms of antibacterial, etc., antioxidants and so forth. But stevia and xylitol, all good. No problem with that. Very good question. Thank you. Okay. I don't know if there's anybody on the call that is in this question from Carol van den Heever, coconut blossom sugar. That is an interesting one, Carol. I've never heard about it, but it sounds very, very interesting. So I'm going to read up on that. If I can just ask you to WhatsApp me your details or email me, I will get that information to you. That is very, very interesting. I've never heard about it. I know about coconut, but not the coconut blossom sugar. That's a good one. Thanks for that. Oh, Mona said it is good. So there you have it. It's good. But I will go and read up on it myself. My interest is piqued now. Okay, so let's talk about pregnancy. I don't know if there's anybody pregnant on the call, planning to fall pregnant, or know of anybody that is pregnant. But lately, this is quite a lot of requests I got regarding pregnancy. So let's quickly run through that. It won't take a lot of time. So supplements that is important is, guess what? The 3&N. And then we've got a product called Formula 4 Plus. What Formula 4 Plus is, it's the 3&N plus vitamins, plus minerals, plus all the enzymes to make sure your body properly absorb it. So for pregnancy, very important to start at the basics again. And then vitamin B complex. A lot of doctors will, gynecologists will prescribe folic acid. Folic acid is only one of the vitamin Bs, and it is extremely important, yes. But remember what we said about a complex where you need to have the whole family combined in the correct ratios. Folic acid is only one of 11 different vitamin Bs. So make sure that you take a vitamin B complex, sustained release, very important. Then chelated CalMag, calcium, magnesium. A mum-to-be, her hormones is going to be all over the place. They're going to work harder than before. Calcium, magnesium is required for that. And if the body does not get enough calcium, magnesium in, it's going to go and fetch that from the bones, and you start with early onset osteoporosis. So be careful on, you need to supplement with CalMag. And you might even go to 6 to 9 CalMags a day as the baby grows and you get to the later stages of pregnancy. So make sure you get enough CalMag in, and don't be fooled to think that our milk or our dairy products today has got a lot of calcium, magnesium in it. Unfortunately not. Due to processing, a lot of that is taken out. Okay. Then also iron. Iron is very, very important for ladies, pregnant ladies. As I mentioned, make sure that you get a chelated iron. Unfortunately, as today, the New Life chelated iron is not available. However, there are iron available in some of the other products, so you can just reach out to the person who invited you or to me, and I will guide you to some other products in the range that do have iron in it. And then very important is omega-3 salmon oil. I should have actually put it right at the top, because this is one of the most important supplements for any pregnant mum-to-be. More and more studies are coming out, and we can provide that information where it has shown that omega-3 salmon oil is not only important in the development of the brain of the fetus, but it has also been indicated that mums who take good quality omega-3 salmon oil during pregnancy, that their children going into primary school have a better cognitive capabilities, and there is definitely a marked difference in IQ. So very, very important. Okay, so be careful on omega-3s. There's a lot of articles that that value the importance of omega-3 fish oil, and yes, it is extremely important. However, the way that omega-3 salmon oil is produced is quite important. The New Life salmon oil is tested for 200 different toxic contaminants with a zero tolerance. Number two, the New Life omega-3 is the only one that I'm aware of so far that's got all 8 different omega-3 fish oil molecules. All the other products on the market's got only 2. So make sure that the omega-3 is tested for 200 contaminants and it's got all 8 molecules. Lots of gynecologists these days are actually telling pregnant mums that they should not drink any omega-3 supplements, and the reason for that is the fear of lead, aluminium, and mercury in the fish that was sourced to make that omega-3 salmon oil supplement. So be very, very careful on that. Okay. And then again, the protein shake with all 22 amino acids. As I mentioned, it's needed for anything in the body, to build everything in the body. Everything in our body is built up of a combination of amino acids, minerals, vitamins, and. So it's so important for the development of the baby, but it's also important to improve the immunity of the mum so that she doesn't get ill, and everything that goes with that. So the protein shake is very important. And guess what? We are back to the acidophilus. If the mum's gut is healthy, then baby will be very, very healthy. So make sure that we have the acidophilus. Paula and I will remember the difference between probiotic and prebiotic. We'll get back to you. Some other considerations, and you will start to see a common thread going through the considerations. Again, eliminate sugar, eliminate sweeteners, eliminate refined high carbohydrates. So you see the common thread there. Okay. Mona just posted and said maple syrup is also another option and it's better than raw honey. Thanks for that, Mona. Appreciate. Carol, you asked for the difference between folic acid and folate. I think it's the type of molecule, but I will also go and read up on it and come back to you on that one. I remember something about that. Anybody's got questions on pregnancy? Oh, and by the way, the mum shouldn't stop with this regimen after the baby is born, especially if she's breastfeeding. She will need all of those elements that we have mentioned there in copious amounts. So keep that in mind. Any questions? I'm on a roll, but I see that we are going to run out of time. So let's just look at one more and then we are going to stop for the evening. And that is skin problems. And it is amazing how many people, and especially children, are sitting these days with skin problems. Rash, dermatitis, rosacea, psoriasis, and everything that goes with that. So, okay. Before I start with that, so the question is, what does chelated mean? So I will quickly recap. Our bodies are manufactured and designed, or not manufactured, our bodies are designed not to easily absorb minerals for a specific reason, because if we think about what we breathe and what we drink and what we eat, there's a lot of minerals in everything. And if our body just absorbed it easily, we would have had serious issues. So what happens is our body naturally does not easily absorb minerals. What chelation means is, and by the way, the Dr. Arthur First, I mentioned, who invented oral chemotherapy, he was the pioneer of chelation as well. Chelation is where a mineral is encapsulated with 2 amino acids, and that's why we call it double chelation. So chelation means to be encapsulated by amino acid, double by 2, and what happens, it fools the body to increase the absorption of that specific mineral. A mineral that has not been chelated will be absorbed between 10 to 20% depending on the source that was used, whereas a chelated mineral will be absorbed more than 80%. So that is what chelation means, and that is the value of chelation. I hope that answers that one, Marianne. Okay, so let's talk about supplements for skin problems very quickly. Again, Pre and N, very important. Then vitamin C, sustained release. Why? Because our skin is made out of collagen, and collagen is a combination of amino acids and vitamin C. Then chelated zinc. Zinc is very, very important for the skin, and as you can see there, it's chelated again, especially children going into puberty that's got acne. Make sure that they get a lot of zinc, please. Then vitamin A and D, as well as vitamin E complex, very important for the skin. And vitamin B complex, sustained release, acidophilus again. And then considerations. We need to understand that our skin is one of the largest detoxifying organs we have. In a lot of instances, anything that represents itself on the skin as a rash or acne or anything else might indicate to an underlying problem in the body that needs to be sorted out first. So I would suggest for any skin problems to do a proper detox program first. And we don't have time enough to go into what we mean by a proper detox program. You can reach out to me or the person who invited you for more information, but I will suggest a detox program first. And then put that specific problem on a person on the supplements we've indicated above. Then aloe vera gel, a good quality aloe vera gel will help a lot with rash, with skin rash, with burn, rosacea, and those issues. Very important, watch out for toxic washing powders and fabric softeners. That is causing havoc at this moment in time on our skins. Our clothes are washed in those products. We put them on for the next 7, 8, 10 hours. We absorb those toxins from the clothes onto our skins. And that is why there are a lot of problems with rash and dermatitis. So watch out for toxic. Just a moment. Somebody is not on mute. If I can see who it is. Can you just please, whoever is not on mute, just please mute. I can't find you quickly. Okay, let's go on. So watch out for the toxic cleaning products. And then watch out for toxic shampoos and conditioners. There are a lot of conditioners and shampoos that's also causing problems with the pH of the skin, skin rashes. Watch out for that. And on that note, also watch out for the type of soap you use, that it doesn't cause havoc with the pH of your skin. And then lastly, if you do use a skincare product, look at a certified organic skincare range like New Life has. They have found that ladies put dozens and dozens of different chemicals on their faces and bodies every day, and less than 10% of those have been properly tested whether it's toxic or good for the skin or not. So watch out for that, please. Okay, any questions on skin problems? While you are thinking about questions, there's a question that came in from Mona. I think you've mentioned refined carbs and sugars. What about dairy that also cause health issues? Oh, Mona, we can spend the whole evening just on dairy, but very, very quickly. The first challenge we have with dairy today is that most of the milk that we drink or that is used in dairy products have a hormone called RBGH or RBST. That is a hormone that is used to inject cows to produce more milk. That is, however, let's call it an unnatural estrogen hormone. And that hormone is not properly broken down. It stays a long time in a product or stays around a long time. and that causes serious issues, cancer problems, and it's a hormonal disruptor, so it causes a lot of problems in ladies specifically. There's only one range of milk that I could find so far that is certified not to have in RBST, and I'm going to mention the name here, and it's Parmalat. I know that Woolworths at some stage had Ayrshire milk, but lately I couldn't find the stamp that it says it's non-RBST. The long and the short is, watch out for dairy products. Milk as well as cheese, yogurt, and so on. There's also reality, guys. We can't get away from everything that is harmful to us. We need to understand that. But what we can do is we can make sure that our bodies are protected to combat whatever we might get in through our diet. So don't get paranoid, but be careful, be educated. Where you can make good choices, do that. Otherwise, make sure that your body is properly protected. Now, I mentioned to people that I'm only going to spend an hour. We're just over an hour, so I think I'm going to stop here. Let me just get back to not sharing the screen. And I just want to quickly check what we missed. So we covered a lot of issues, but unfortunately we couldn't get to eye problems, menopause, cancer, diabetes, and heart disease. So, and I don't want to waste people's time because I said an hour. If this is valuable, you can just tell me on the chat, and I will schedule about 4 weeks from now a similar session where we can address those issues or any other issues that you would have liked us to read up on, come back to you and share information with you. So you're welcome to Latvia on the chat. Let me know by email, WhatsApp, or on the chat function here, and let me know what we can do in about 4 weeks' time, whether you find value out of this, and if we should include you in the next invitation. So let's just give, for old time's sake, a couple of questions here. Okay, Paula said she would like to have another session. Liesel said, please share the recording. So what I will do is I will post the recording on YouTube. I will send out the recording to my people that was on here, my guests. I will also provide to you, Hazel, so that you can share with your friends. Okay, any other questions? Good. Then I would like to thank you for all of you that was patient, for your contributions, your questions, and it was fun sharing with you. And please go out, be educated, make good choices, start at the small things, and hope to see you in 4 weeks' time. All the best.